listen to the rest. Now it's time to listen to the best. Real Talk Sports, where these pro sport analysts do more than get in front of the throws. They never miss a catch or a call. No matter the sport, they always have the right call. Not just entertaining, it's the true sports fans forecasting guide. Feel free when you cash in or let it ride. With Real Talk Sports by your side, that is. Just to keep the ball bouncing even more, it's two-way talk with live question and review. So be sure to listen in on the new WIGO.
Good evening. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, and we welcome you to another broadcast here on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570 on your AM dial. You also can find us broadcasting to you online at WIGOAM.com. You also can find us on the TuneIn radio application. Put in WIGO 1570 in the search engine, or better yet, put in Real Talk Sports, and voila, you will find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. And while you're out and about on social media, remember to follow us at Talk Sports ATL. Well, we got one of our young guns is in the building here. Our youngest of the young gun, Mr. Reggie Brown, in the building.
Excited to talk some sports tonight.
Well, man, that's good to have you back in here. And we are waiting for our other young gun to pop in, Mr. Ashton Reynolds. And we may even get a special visit by the sports diva herself, the lovely Miss Jen Mackey, may be joining us in the broadcast. And we're going to be talking all of the things that have broken out on the weekend. We have all types of breaking news everywhere. Of course, the biggest news was the NFL draft, how that went on this weekend. What are your thoughts? We're going to talk about what I think was a colossal fail by the Atlanta Falcons in their draft picks. We'll also be talking about the second round of the NBA playoffs. Now we are down in the two divisions. Then there were four. As we get down to the Eastern Division semifinals and the Western Division semifinals, we're talking about Atlanta's opportunity tonight to possibly beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. And we have some other breaking news, of course, throughout the weekend that we'll talk about. Tiger Woods about to make a comeback. We'll talk to the young gun, see what his sensibilities are about that, whether Mr. Woods is going to be back. We're also going to talk about some of the things that happen around the draft with college football. Alabama, one of their coaches, has had to quit over recruiting violations. Larry McTunstall's entire draft fiasco in terms of some information being leaked about him, and Patrick Ewing being considered possibly for the King's job. All that stuff we're going to talk about, and maybe we'll talk a little bit on my preaching pundit moment about Ted Turner being sorely missed here in Atlanta sports ownership package here. But in case you are just joining us, you're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast again on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570 on your AM dial. You also can find us broadcasting anywhere online at WIGOAM.com. And remember, any mobile device, iOS or Android powered, it absolutely does not matter. Use the free TuneIn radio application, put in WIGO 1570, or better yet, put in Real Talk Sports, and voila, you will find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. Well, gentlemen, like I said, there was a lot of news breaking across the airwaves. I'm going to go here and take a peek at something that I saw in terms of the headlines, which kind of was very, very interesting to me. One of the things that popped up is the possibility for you boxing aficionados. I saw something breaking on Yahoo Sports, and I'm going to try to get the article here. But the article basically talks about the possibility of Floyd Money Mayweather getting back in the ring. That's right, you heard it. Floyd Money Mayweather thinking about getting back in the ring. Evidently, there is oodles of money out there being offered to him to try to come back. What do you think, Reggie? Is that something that he should do or no?
He can do it. He'll probably come back for maybe $400 million the next fight, like his last one with Pacquiao. It might be against a nobody boxer. He'll win in decision. Then he'll retire again as supposedly the greatest boxer of all time. But I think it's just a money thing right now.
Well, that's why he's called Moneyweather. That's why he's called that. I mean, this guy has a sense for the money. And let's face it, really, there's not too much going on in the world of boxing right now.
Right. And honestly, leading up to Floyd's retirement, they was actually trying to look and find the next boxer. So many people thought it was Adrian Broner because he had tremendous upside, but apparently he's not focused. A lot of people thought that, Amir Khan and Keith one time Thurman was going to be the one, but they don't have that appeal that Floyd Mayweather has every time he puts something together like a Showtime event. So for him to come back, it'll definitely be a nice boost to boxing due to the fact that it's really not gaining as many viewers as it was when he was an active boxer. But when I look at his pictures on social media, it looks like he's enjoying the retirement life. I mean, I don't know if he would like to come back. Some people hint at it, but I don't know. Whenever he says it, when I hear it out of his mouth, that's when I'm going to believe it.
Yeah, I just think it's a situation where a few headlines there. You'd have to offer this guy all kinds of money, I think, to want to come out of retirement at this point. So I really can't see it. We want to give a shout out to all those people who are now joining us on the Facebook live video broadcast. I'm trying to see your comments here. It's kind of hard for me to see them, but we thank the Lord for those of you who decided to join us on Facebook Live. Please pass the word out. Share this on your Facebook profiles as well. So we appreciate each and every one of you who have decided, like you said, to join us here on the Facebook Live broadcast. And again, I'm going to try to see if I can pull up and get some of the folks so I can shout out who is on the docket watching us live. But like I said, of course, we got here Carlos Grown Man Porter has joined us. Thank you so much, Carlos, for joining us. Who else we have there, Reggie? Can you look up there and see who else has popped in there, kind sir?
Nathan Lewis.
Nathan Lewis. Thank you also. Nathan does some great sports coverage as well himself. And like I said, folks, if you like the video more than hearing us online, again, you can go to the Real Talk Sports page and you will find us doing some live video broadcasting right here. Well, the other problem that we had out here, I shouldn't say problem, the other piece of news we had is during the draft. We had a little situation with Mr. Laramie Tunstall. Evidently, he couldn't stay away from that bong. Evidently.
And that's honestly the wrong time for that video to come out, even for him to do it. I mean, here he's perhaps the most highly touted offensive lineman in the draft, and for that video to leak out at that time where many people thought that he was actually going to be a top 3 pick, he done lost out on some millions of dollars, and due to the fact, and that's kind of bad due to the fact that they're making an investment on draft day when they feel like you can come into the organization and make an instant impact. He was one of those guys who many draft, people that watched the draft really felt like he was going to make a huge impact on their team based off of the skill set that he brings. So that was a wrong time for him to do it, and whoever did it within his camp, I hope that he gets rid of them. I don't care if that's a homeboy or not, because there's no telling what else might come out out of that camp if he doesn't get rid of that and nip that in the bud now, because everybody can't go with you when you get into this level of success, because football is now a job now. He's getting paid to play the game, so he got to watch who's around him and watch his actions as well.
Well, here are some of the rumors out there about who did it. There was some thought that his stepdad might have been behind it, but it's coming out now that his attorney, Mr. Tunstall's attorney, saying we don't think his stepdad was behind the hacking. Now, another problem that Laramie had, which was also released later on, that there was a domestic violence report called on him on Tuesday, evidently got into some type of near scuffle with his stepfather. So at the end of the day, a lot of drama for Laramie Tunstall as he got ready for the draft. There's no question it cost him millions of dollars. Keep in mind that at one point that this guy was in the situation where he was worth literally millions of dollars. A lot of people had picked him as the number 1 choice overall in the draft, and it's cost him millions of dollars. I want to give a quick shout out to a great radio voice in gospel radio here in Atlanta, Rodell in the ATL. Thanks for checking us out on Facebook, bro. We appreciate you. Appreciate all the support. We appreciate all those of you who are listening. We're actually going to open up the phone lines now, 404-361-1571. You can call in and chime in about the Laramie Tunstall situation. Like I said, again, it cost this young man millions. And then here's the other thing. After this, then it appears that he throws the University of Mississippi staff under the bus. He claims that he had gotten paid by one of the coaches.
Risky move talking about that. I mean, he can destroy the whole program if that's really true. We've seen that in the past with a couple of these teams paying players. And it's going to be exciting to see how he pays off throughout his career, if he has any more of these hacked incidents with him and marijuana in the league. So, it'll be exciting to watch.
Right. I just pray that he can get this nipped in the bud and this won't affect his play on the field as well as his standing with the organization. But it seems like the Miami Dolphins organization are standing behind him and are really in place to, help this guy, help him adjust to the NFL life. And it seems like they're behind him and they're not going to let this incident kind of hinder him and as far as his impact on the field, as well as how they've thought about him. So we just see how it goes from here.
Yeah, it really got bad. I mean, you had whoever this quote-unquote anonymous hacker was. Not only did they post a video, of course, of him with the bong, but then it said they posted, I'm reading from the ClarionLedger.com, it said that they posted screenshots of him with text messages from one of the assistant coaches at the University of Mississippi, which in turn, obviously, once that was released, he had to admit that he had taken money from the school. So whoever this was, man, they had it really set out to go ahead and really try to, really break him down and also break down the University of Mississippi. But I got to tell you, man, really quickly, I just think the NCAA is a few steps away from kind of killing the golden goose. These draconian rules and regulations they have about players not being able to get any type of money or help, how their parents can't get any help. I just think, man, that pretty soon the Big Five conferences is going to start paying players, and
right.
the NCAA is not even going to exist.
Right, especially since for the longest time, NCAA has been using the players' likeness, and they haven't been able to get anything from it. They're on the cover of magazines, and I'm sure that there are more athletes that get something under the table. It's not a new case, but it is something that is actually being, fought for players to receive some type of payment. But like I said, this stuff here, hopefully they can get all of this stuff nipped in the bud before they start advancing in the training camp, because the season's right around the corner. So they nip this in the bud, not only for the organization, but for Laramie Tunstall as a young man who's going from broke to millionaire in the matter of a day as a result of his name being called. So hopefully they can help him out with this transition.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I think that I think they might have some help in place. It's kind of a weird thing. How these things happen. It's really nefarious how people get mad and they have no problems. The world we live in and trying to cost people millions of dollars. Well, if you want to chime in and with your opinion, call us up 404-361-1571. We're talking a little bit of the weekend news. Money Mayweather, should he come back? Laramie Tunstall, a draft fiasco, and an Alabama coach quits over a recruiting violation. But before we get into that, Young Gun, really quickly, here's the news from Yahoo Sports. Tiger Woods books his accommodation for the Memorial, say sources. It says Tiger Woods has made accommodation plans for the Memorial Tournament in Ohio. Sources have told Reuters, suggesting that the Jack Nicklaus hosted event could mark the return of the former world number ones coming back from back surgery. Although Woods has made no commitment to the Memorial, his plans remain fluid as his rehabilitation comes along. But it does seem like Tiger might try to make a shot back. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think Tiger's coming back. He's already registered for the U.S. Open, the next upcoming major in June. So this Memorial event might just be a little warm-up just to get him back in shape, see where his game's at for the major.
Well, I tell you what I'm worried about really is that most reports show that he does not look that good so far in terms of his recovery. So I just hope that he doesn't put himself in a situation, man, where he makes things worse and really sideline himself. Me personally, I understand that he wants to try to play in the U.S. Open this year, but I think that he should maybe take a little bit more time and shoot maybe for the PGA.
Well, I think that's just what a lot of people have always said about Tiger, that he's not healthy, he's bad, but that's just what comes when you the greatest player in golf right now, or ever. And I think that with Tiger's new course open up, he played a couple holes there. A lot of people got to see. I got to watch online the event. Tiger was looking great. I mean, he's still able to go under par. I think he's going to be able to play pretty well and get back to that high level.
All right, well, there it is, Young Gun. And tell people a little bit about your golfing career. You're involved. This is why he's pretty favorable towards Tiger Woods. You're involved in the First Tee group, is that right?
Yes, I am part of the First Tee of Atlanta.
There you go. And you also play some golf right here in Clayton County?
Yes, I am on the high school golf team with Mondays Mill. Made it to regionals this year. Played pretty well there and shooting for state next year.
Almost sound like I have him on the stand right here. Yes, I am. I'm that guy. I'm the one you're talking about. That's me. Well, like I mentioned, you have a situation in Alabama where one of their coaches has resigned from the football coaches group there. You have a situation where an assistant coach has resigned due to improper contact with recruits. Evidently, he had too many contacts beyond NCAA regulation, and he is gone. So I tell you, man, like I say again, it's just to me, it's too much regulations, too much tight stuff here. You're nitpicking over these guys doing this kind of stuff. To me, the whole thing is just crazy. You know, I mean, says here he is this is the second time this guy's here. Bo Davis. I'll give you the update here. Bo Davis is a guy that has resigned from the University of Alabama. And I'll just read the statement really quickly. It says, head coach Nick Saban from Alabama announced his defensive line coach Bo Davis has resigned. Bo Davis has submitted his letter of resignation. Saban's statement read, "We appreciate the contribution he made to the program and wish him and his family the very best in the future." It says that there are allegations that he had recruiting violations. Okay, and it says Alabama has been investigating Davis, and the NCAA has been investigating them as well, but there's no specifics really about in terms of why or what rules he's broken, just the fact that, he just had too many contacts with these recruits, and I just think that kind of stuff is crazy.
I think this whole problem with the NCAA is just getting out of hand. I mean, you can't have players come to the schools for a certain period in their junior year.
Right.
Coaches can't text them. Coaches can't say hi. All that. It's crazy. I mean, NCAA needs to really look at the rules.
And then not to mention that all of the recruits, Alabama is 9 times out of 10 the number one choice, if not the number one choice in the top 3. And if you look at the Alabama's roster, they're deep in all areas. Running back, wide receiver, year after year, year in, year out, they're always getting the top recruits. So, and for them to not find any specific regulation that he has broken, and it's just crazy. So I agree with you. They have too many regulations, and there's a relationship and a bond that a coach and a recruit ends up having, especially if that recruit is considering them. So even if you can't text them to say hi, see how the family's doing, that's crazy.
Well, listen, the phone lines are open, 404-361-1571. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Show as we broadcast to you right here on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570 on the dial, or find us on WIGOAM.com. Stay tuned for more as we are going to bring you some more sports talk here on Real Talk Sports.
The Georgia Renaissance Festival is open every weekend and Memorial Day through June 5th. Get discount tickets at Walgreens or online and see
Robin Hood, a Mary Queen, hordes of swords and juggling, men in tights who like to fight with sharp things in their hands.
Yeah.
Clothing, jewelry, pottery, it's like you've won the lottery. Stop on by.
Why not hurry?
For fun and food and drink.
the Renaissance Festival is a theme park, a circus, and an art festival, all in one, with games and rides and food fit for kings. Feel the ground rumble under the thundering hooves of 4,000 pounds of equine fury in the full armored joust. A top 20 Southeast event and Atlanta's best family entertainment value.
It's more fun than you can shake a turkey leg at.
The Georgia Renaissance Festival is open every Saturday, Sunday, and Memorial Day Monday through June 5th. Save time at the gate by purchasing tickets in advance. Save up to $3 when you buy discount tickets at Walgreens or at GARenfest.com.
Bobby, you here again?
Yeah, my doctor told me to reduce stress at work, so I come to Buffalo Wild Wings to eat lunch and watch sports. I get to pick one of 7 entrees, like sandwiches and salads, plus one of 7 sides.
Well, I like sides.
It's so affordable I can finally take a vacation.
Where you gonna go?
Here, Tim, here.
Introducing the new B-Dubs Fast Break Lunch Menu, starting at a new low price. Dine in or order takeout weekdays between 11 and 2. Participation and availability may vary. Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports.
And we are back. Welcome to the Real Talk Sports Show. I'm your host, Minister Jonathan Simmons, as you're listening to us on Atlanta's Incredible Radio, WIGO 1570 on your dial. You also can find us online at WIGOAM.com. You also can find us anywhere on any mobile device. Use the free TuneIn radio application. Put in WIGO 1570, or better yet, put in Real Talk Sports, and voila, you'll find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. You also can find us live on video. Go to the Real Talk Sports page on Facebook, and you can log in and actually see us in real time. So we appreciate you. Got the young guns in the building. Got Reggie Brown, 16-year-old golf master.
Yes, sir.
We have 21 years old going on 22, crying all the way. I don't know why. He's a young man. Mr. Ashton Reynolds in the building.
So excited to be here.
And we have a gentleman that he's giving us a little trial run here, but he might be joining our show in the not-too-distant future, Mr. Miles Tyson in the building.
How you doing, sir?
What's going on, show? I have to get you a little closer to that microphone, sir.
How you doing, Atlanta?
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Well, gentlemen, we want to talk now a little bit of basketball here. We are now down to the Final Four in the East and in the West. That's right. And the young gun is rubbing his hands because this is where it gets down to the nitty-gritty right here.
That's right.
Hey, tonight, Hawks face off against Cleveland. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Everybody's giving, who cares about that? But it's important, too.
Yes,
let's not throw them under the bus. Here's the bottom line. It has started. The very first game in the Western Conference was nothing nice as the San Antonio Spurs crushed and ran Oklahoma City out of the building 124-92. And I got to tell you, boys, after watching that game, they really look like the team to beat in the NBA playoffs right now.
I'm going to tell you something. LaMarcus Aldridge, 18 for 23, 38 points in 30 minutes. That lets you know that, first of all, they was capitalizing. They was being very efficient. That shows you how dominant LaMarcus Aldridge really is within that system and how well he is adapted. That shows that he was also getting an adequate amount of rest because he only played 30 minutes and was that effective. Kawhi Leonard, 10 for 13. You cannot beat San Antonio if they're clicking like that. They're clicking, and also everybody's playing a good amount of minutes. The starters are getting rest. And on top of that, they did not let Oklahoma City get any type of run or in any type of rhythm. You cannot beat San Antonio when everybody is clicking like that. You can't.
Yeah, terrible showing as we see the transition of to the new big three now in Danny Green, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Kawhi Leonard. Those three guys combined for really the lion's share of the points. 81 points between those three guys, 63 points from the big two, Kawhi Leonard, who had 25,
right.
And as you mentioned, Aldridge at 38. Compare that to Oklahoma City's big two, the big guns, Kevin Durant, KD, and Russell Westbrook. Those two guys together combined for only 30 points. Dismal shooting, 6 of 15 from the floor for Durant, 5 of 19 from the floor from Westbrook. And in the press conference, man, them guys looked, they said all the right things, but they didn't look too good.
Well, I think it was the first game. You go out against the Spurs, who are just a phenomenal team. I still think the Spurs can probably beat OKC in I'm going to say 7 games because OKC has that chance of Westbrook and Kevin Durant. We've seen in the past where those two can't connect and take out another team. But all in all, the Spurs, if LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard keep balling like this, then you also have Tim Duncan who can put up 15.
Right.
Ginobili put up 15 himself. So it's just
David West.
It's going to be a hard time for the OKC to try to come out of the West.
See, here's the hard thing about that matchup. When you got LaMarcus Aldridge down there, the people that are going to be guarding him is Serge Ibaka, a guy who is shorter than he is, and that LaMarcus can overpower. And then you have Steven Adams, who can match him in height, but is not as quick as LaMarcus Aldridge. And then on OKC's side, they have to get contributions from the Dion Waiters and Serge Ibaka, who's shooting more threes than he ever had. They need to just bring that in, shoot in his range. Russell Westbrook needs to play how he played in the first round. Play the point guard position instead of trying to outshoot your star player. When you're shooting Kevin Durant shots, that's when they start losing. When Kevin Durant's not getting in a rhythm or anything like that, that's when they are at their worst, and that's when they're the most vulnerable to be beaten, how they have been beaten.
Yeah, I say the same thing, but it wasn't a big surprise that San Antonio won. They're one of the top 3 teams in the league every year, just about. And now, what was surprising how bad they beat them.
Right.
That's what was the shocker was. And
it beat them like they stole something.
Yeah, right.
It really did. It beat them bad.
That was an aberration, though. I don't think it's going to happen again. And now Russell Westbrook can't be Russell Westbrook. He got to start driving, having that killer instinct like he always has consistently, usually. But Kawhi Leonard's on him, D'ing him up, and he's just kind of shutting him down right now. But I really don't think it's going to happen like that again. Now, I'm not saying the OKC will come back and win the series, but it won't be like another game like that.
Well, I tell you, man, it was really an epic beating. But, this has happened before. Back in my day, going back, almost 30 years ago, the Boston Celtics. Hold on a second. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to have that. Okay, now you people on the Facebook video, you can't. All you seen is the back of his head. The young gun gave me a little look like, "Oh, you old preacher." That's how you got the booth. I mean, you escort you to the door. You'll give me that look like, "Oh man, that was." Did they have TV then? I know what that look is. I made that whole look. Reggie said, "I didn't say that. I didn't say anything. I just gave you the look." But no, 30-some-odd years ago, long before the young gun was being born or even thought about, the Boston Celtics took on the Los Angeles Lakers in, I think it was the 85-86 NBA championship. And basically, they did the same thing to the Lakers, ran them out of the building.
Boston Massacre.
Yep, Boston Massacre. Now, Lakers came back and won that series 4-2 because there's only one game. And throughout history, teams have done this. The Sixers, led by Dr. J and the wonderful team back in the late 70s, took on Bill Walton and the Portland Trail Blazers. Pretty much handled them back in Philly, went up 2-0, and that's the only games they won for the rest of the series. As Portland came back and won the 77 NBA championship. So you never know. One game doesn't make a series.
Right.
Hopefully this will snap the sense back into the happy guys in OKC so we can see a great game. I want to give some shout-outs right here to folks watching Facebook Live. I want to give out a shout-out to the Yolanda Lattimore, a.k.a. Dryer Buzz, one of the great bloggers here in the Atlanta area, great supporter of the stuff that we do, and we just give kudos to her. Check her out at Dryer Buzz. Follow her anywhere on social media. She does a phenomenal podcast broadcast. Check her out. Also want to give a shout-out to one of the Big Sky Conference's top broadcasters, Mike McDowell. Want to give him a big shout out. Mike, thanks for joining us here on the Facebook Live video. And yes, we look forward to have you on because I know, Mike, you want to talk a little bit about your favorite team, the Golden State Warriors, who we're going to be talking about in just a few moments. So we thank all those of you who are watching us live on the video. Again, reminder, phone lines are now open, 404-361-1571. If you want to jump in the conversation, let us know, do you think San Antonio are the new kingpins of the NBA, or can somehow, some way, the Golden State Warriors find their way back to be the darlings of the league? Okay, let's take a look at the other matchup in the West. Let's take a look at the other two teams there. You got, of course, Portland and Golden State. What do you think? Golden State does not have Steph Curry. They looked very strong in that opening game. Do you think they're going to be able to hold off Portland as they won 118-16 in Game 1 out there at the Oracle Arena?
I do think that Golden State can pull it out. It's going to be a tough one to pull out because Damian Lillard can be a baller. I mean, he can take control. You see what he did once the Clippers once the Clippers fell down. But I think that Golden State has a deep enough roster with a bunch of talent that Steph Curry is a big impact. But without him, they still can win a lot of games. You got Iggy who will step up like he did last year. Draymond, Clay, all those guys are phenomenal players right now. So I think they can pull it on out. Right,
especially at the guard position. You can even go with height. It favors Golden State. Damian Lillard, he is a baller, but he's 6'3" compared to Sean Livingston 6'8". That's a lot of length right there, and that's a lot of energy that Damian Lillard has to exert on the offensive end to get by Sean Livingston, who is a pretty good defender. C.J. McCollum, 6'4"? Okay, Klay Thompson, 6'7", 6'8". That's 4 inches that each guard is giving up to the other guard. Golden State, everybody is fascinated about Steph Curry, but this is also showing that everybody else can play. When you have Draymond Green giving you a double-double, when you have Bogut, Green, and Livingston each combining to give you at least 30 rebounds, with Bogut being in double-digit rebounding figures as well as giving them 18 points, and Sean Livingston is also giving you double-digit scoring as well as running the floor, it's showing you that everybody can play, and not to mention Klay Thompson being hot. He can play the game as well. You have two facilitators with Iguodala and Draymond Green out there. Barbosa, Ian Clark coming out there and contributing. They're looking good right now. But Damian Lillard's gonna make it exciting.
Yes, sir. You're right. And Golden State just proved that's why they won 73 games this year. They're 10-11 deep. You know, their second five can start for most teams in the league. You know? So it wasn't no surprise there either. So once again, all these blowouts, I'm not expecting that in the second round of the playoffs.
But the bottom line is, you hit on the head. Golden State showed. I mean, Klay Thompson has been a thorn in Portland's side all year long. He's averaged just under 30 points a game against them. Last night was no different. Guy was blistering, shot 50% from the floor, 14 of 28, 7 of 14 for threes. I think he had 14 of Golden State's first 18 points last night as he finished out with 37 points, still dished out 5 assists. But you hit on the head, the big three guys up front, Bogut, Green, and Barnes, all had 12 or more rebounds. And Andrew Bogut, you can say what you want about that guy, but he had 3 huge big block shots,
yes, he did,
as well as Damon Green. So that's what you're looking at here. And, of course, now we're getting to the Eastern Division title. Those guys went a little bit longer in their games. Miami pulled it out in Game 7, as did the Toronto Raptors. So those two guys will be facing off. But, of course, our Atlanta Hawks now, it is a, oh, Lord, back to the future as they once again find themselves squared off against the Cleveland Cavaliers. All you guys here are chuckling and laughing. What would the Hawks need to do to pull out the miracle upset against the Cavaliers?
Hit them in the mouth tonight.
Yeah, set the tone, capitalize, and be consistent. When I say capitalize, Cavaliers has a tendency to be a little stagnant. The ball might stay in one place. LeBron might dribble the 24-second clock and then just hoist up a three or something like that. But that's when the Atlanta Hawks should go on the run and become the running team, like you always say, Minister, that they need to be. And like you say, hit them in the mouth. Come out aggressive in game 1, set the tone. And that's what they have to do. Otherwise, Cleveland's going to do what they did last year when the Hawks flew away from LeBron as he drove to the basket and just, manhandle him without Kyrie Irving.
And another thing is that it's the coach's problem as well. He has to be able to know when to sub players in and out. He has to know when to tell the team, hey, if Millsap has already 40 points in the game, keep feeding him the ball. Don't take him out in the last 2 minutes and then lose the game. So don't make any dumb decisions tonight.
Team basketball, team defense on LeBron James. Protect the paint, get more boards, box out, keep Tristan Thompson and them off because Tristan Thompson is one of the leading offensive rebounders. Get more rebounds, defensive rebounds, and control the paint.
Well, no question, LeBron's the key. Now, of course, last year, 2 of the big 3 really weren't there, so he was a one-man wrecking crew, averaged 30 points, 11 rebounds, and 9 assists in the 4-game sweep. So the guy basically averaged a triple-double against the Hawks last year. No, hold on, fellas. Everybody doing a laugh and chuckle here, but the Hawks do appear to be a little bit better team. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and transition to a break, but when we come back, we're going to talk a little NFL football, and we got an AJC sports writing legend, D. Orlando Ledbetter, going to join us. Stay tuned.
Coming to Atlanta, Roberta Flack and Peebo Bryson. I celebrate my love for you. June 24th, 8 p.m. at Cobb Energy Center. Enjoy an evening of romantic ballads. Roberta Flack, Peebo Bryson. Classic hits and favorites. The very best of Roberta Flack. Roberta Flack. And Peebo Bryson. I'm so into you. June 24th, 8 p.m. at Cobb Energy Center. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
State Court Judge Linda Cowan has faithfully served the citizens of Clayton County for more than 20 years with compassion and common sense. Let's vote and keep Judge Cowan on the bench. Leah Ward Sears, former Chief Justice of the Georgia Supreme Court, supports the re-election of Judge Cowan to the State Court of Clayton County. Justice Sears appointed Judge Cowan to serve on the Supreme Court Commission on Marriage, Children, and Family Law, and has known Judge Cowan for more than 10 years.
I am a lifelong resident of Clayton County. I graduated from Jonesboro High School and Clayton Junior College. I practiced law here for 10 years before becoming a state court judge in 1995. I care about the citizens of Clayton County.
Check out more of Judge Cowan's record of service by visiting her website at judgecowan.com. Judge Linda Cowan is our choice. Keep Judge Linda Cowan serving Clayton County.
I'm Judge Linda Cowan, and I approve this message.
Lawrence Taylor, New York Giants, and you with Real Talk Sports.
17th pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Keanu Neal, defensive back, Florida.
How y'all doing?
Good.
Fantastic.
What was it like getting the news tonight that you were drafted by the Atlanta Falcons?
Oh, it was amazing. You know, I kind of wanted that to be the team that I went to, just thinking schematically and everything. But you know, just the coaching staff and everything, just the chemistry that we have. You know, it's a blessing to be a part of it.
And we are back. You're listening to the Real Talk Sports Shows. We broadcast to you live right here on WIGO 1570 on the dial. You also can find us online at WIGOAM.com. Anywhere on TuneIn Radio. Use that application, put in WIGO 1570, or better yet, put in Real Talk Sports, and voila, you can find us broadcasting to you right here and right now. We're going to open up the phone lines, 404-361-1571, because we have the gentleman who actually asked that question to the brand new Falcons #1 draft pick. He is a legend here in sports writing, both here in Atlanta and across the country. He's the man. We just call him D-Led, D. Orlando Ledbetter. Welcome back, bro.
Hey, greetings, Jonathan. Thanks for having me.
Hey, listen, D-Led, I got to tell you, I really, the preacher is not supposed to cuss anymore, but I got to tell you, when I saw that draft, I was about to get the cussing and throw a shoe at the TV. Led, what happened?
Yeah, I kind of got wind of that move earlier in the day, and the buzz around the Falcons picking Keanu at the 17th pick started with the team leaking the pick to ESPN's Todd McShay. He's the only person in the country with that pick, and so you know where it came from. So at that point, we had to start investigating. I know his agent, Harold Lewis. He represented my old cousin Isaac Bird, who played for the Titans. Fine young man, but they might have reached on this pick. But the Falcons believed that the Steelers or the Panthers were going to select this young man in the first round, and so they didn't want to miss on him. They liked him that much, and they made the decision to draft him a little bit higher than even the NFL's draft advisory committee wanted to draft him. They had him rated as a second-round pick.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought, D-Led. And I got to tell you, man, when I looked at this, the first thing that came to my mind, I said, well, I would tell you something. This Mr. Cano, he better be more like Neo that Cano Reeves played versus Keno the Cat in this new film we got out here, man, because if not, this, and then followed it up with another questionable pick as well, and their number 2 pick in the second round. What I'm looking at, D-Led, is that the guys they passed up Shaq Lawson. They passed up, his running mate over there, Kevin Dodd. They passed up the young man out of Ohio State. All of these premier edge rushers, one by one, be scalped up by teams after the Falcons. It left me scratching my head. Did we really need a safety that bad?
Well, they cut William Moore, so it was a need back there. But Seattle, what I'm hearing now is a lot about the defense being built from the back to the front with the league turned into a passing league. They can create pass rush, they believe, by, training guys to get to the quarterback at the ball's being held a little bit longer. So, I mean, this isn't anything new, but it was kind of a novel concept for us here that, you're going to bypass legitimate bona fide pass rushers.
Legitimate.
Like Shaq Lawson, yes, legitimate.
I mean, and even if you talk about, they're talking about the speed that, that Dan wants to bring to the table. Let me say this, first of all, D-Led. I'm like you and most of the guys that get a chance to cover the Falcons. I don't cover them as much as you do, but I really like Dan Quinn. I mean, I met him virtually as soon as he came to town at the Atlanta Sports Awards. He's very cordial to me right off the bat. I like the guy personally, but if these picks are wrong, D-Led, you've been covering him for a long time. This could set this franchise back 4 or 5 years because they passed up some formidable guys in this draft.
Yeah, and, you just look at it, they passed up Clay Matthews III because he didn't fit the schemes. I mean, he's all pro now. Green Bay builds their defense around him. They passed up Levante David. He's an all-pro linebacker now. You can just, go back to see time and time again where teams reach and it doesn't work out for them. They bypass some good, legitimate players. And then say you get to the championship game against the 49ers and you get beat because guess what? They got better players.
Right.
So, it's a catch-22. You can work it your way, but at the end, the team with the best players, they're going to win the game.
Yeah, and you talk about, again, you talk about speed and being able to, he talks all about causing turnovers. Well, I thought that was the whole reason why they were looking at a guy like Darren Lee, a guy that most people said was a freakish athlete at the position, a guy that brought you not only the speed but size, because all across the measurables, I'm thinking, why would you bypass Lee to get this guy? Lee was bigger physically at 230 versus, I think, the other guy's at 211. He's a little bit taller. And, like I said, again, this is a guy who was a former quarterback in Lee, so I could understand it. I would have even been happier to see them take the Outland Trophy guard out of Stanford, Joshua Garnett, I think that's his name, Garnett, versus taking him. I mean, to put this kind of emphasis when you know that you're struggling on both the offensive and defensive line, it just made no sense to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, Darren Lee, they went to Ohio State, they scouted him, and part of their evaluation was, hey, does this guy go up and hit? Is he a guy that takes people out, with vengeance? Because Quinn's like, hey, guys are going to catch passes against us in our zone, but we have to come up and take them out. When you watch Darren Lee's tape, you don't see that. You don't see him taking people out. You see him speeding around, buzzing around folks, and hitting, but not really taking them out. But, Reverend, I have to go here. I have a call from the Falcons I have to take.
Well, listen, D-Led, as always, you're right on top of the action there. Hopefully there's some breaking news about some other major move they've made with the team. D-Led, thanks for taking time with us.
You're welcome.
What it is, folks, you got the breaking news right there. D. Orlando Ledbetter got a call from the Falcons, so hopefully that's some moves that they're making behind the scenes. But, guys, like you said, man, looking at these draft picks, I don't understand it at all.
It was ridiculous. I mean, if you wanted a pass rushing defense, which you gratefully need when you get down to that red zone, you need to hit the quarterback. Stop them from just running all over your defense. And then the only pick I'm happy with, well, two picks. They got Deion Jones. They got a somewhat linebacker that could pass rush. He's a hard hitter from LSU. And then the guard, I believe, guard or tackle they got out of San Jose State in, I think it was the 6th round. I think that's an improvement to the offensive line. Help Matt Ryan. But taking the safety in the 1st round like that, it was very questionable. Even though they had other decent safeties, just like Keanu, in later rounds, almost like what the Bears got in the 4th round. So it was just a bold move out of Falcons, hoping it pays off.
Well, I think they was going to, they're trying to make, he's like a hybrid, safety, like outside linebacker. I think they're trying to mix him in. It seems like to me they're trying to go the speedy route, like he started in Seattle.
Right.
Deion Jones ran a 4.38 40 at a linebacker. That's pretty good. That's moving.
That's exceptional.
Yeah. So, I understand their mentality of it, but like you said, they didn't address the pass rushing situation, which they really needed. But I guess they try like the guy caller said, they're trying to build from the back forward to where they can hold them long enough to where they can get enough pass rush.
Right. That's what it seems like how they were doing in Seattle, where they would basically from the back front where they could just, cover everybody, have them shut down until somebody else break out and get the quarterback. So I believe that's what they're trying to do. If he's trying to bring that Seattle mentality to Atlanta, trust him. He's a Super Bowl winner. I mean, he won a Super Bowl with that same philosophy.
Should have been too.
I mean, just trust it.
Yeah, well, the thing that I'm distrusting is the fact that, I mean, I like Coach Quinn, but I mean, here's what I'm looking at. You talk about Seattle, and, we built the team from the front to the back. The bottom line is, if you look at that defensive line, do they have some hosses? They have some big boys. Cliff Averill. They have my man that went over to Irving that went to the Oakland Raiders. These guys were big stud pass rushing ends, 6'4", 250, 270, and these guys rushed with bad intent. When they got back in that backfield, they were trying to lay the wood to you. So this idea that we're going to run all these guys now have another undersized rusher that they're saying is going to bring to the table. And this young man they brought in, the outside linebacker, they're talking about, first of all, let me look at the grade. Okay, and then we're going to go to the phone lines. Most people are grading the Falcons anywhere between a C to an F. okay, as far as their grade. Now, I'm probably the guy leaning more towards the F because I think that I can't understand this at all. You got LSU's Deion Jones, a speedy, undersized linebacker who can be using a variety of work. The guy weighs about 220. You already got a guy on the defensive end position in terms of Vic Beasley Jr. It's only 235. I can't get it. Well, anytime you start talking football, guys, you know what happens. The phone line rings with a guy that probably knows more about football than anybody that I know. He's on every Saturday, 100 Yards of Football, the host of that show. He's simply called Mr. Football. Welcome to the show. Mr. Football.
Hey, how you doing, Jonathan?
I'm doing great, kind sir. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How's the team doing this evening?
We
good.
Yeah, they seem ready. They took a deep breath, and they kind of leaned back, and they said, okay, we're ready. So, sir, this NFL draft for the Falcons, to me, was an absolute travesty.
Well, I can't see how you say it's a travesty. I mean, it seems like that you kind of buying into what everybody else said. But let me ask you this. Dan Quinn is a guy who took a defense that was ranked 32nd in the league, right?
Yes, sir.
And brought them to 18.
Yes,
right?
sir.
So don't you think you kind of trust what he's doing right now? I know you didn't like the sexy pick with the pass rusher, but remember this, Karan Neal can play.
Well,
he
sir,
can play.
I understand everybody says he wants a thumper, but I'm going to say this again. If this guy does not turn into the reincarnation of Ronnie Lott or Troy Polamalu, the Falcons can be set back 5 or 6 years of this pick, dude, because again, let's go over some of the guys they bypassed. They bypassed Shaq Lawson, a guy who you and me both saw with one arm do damage against the number one team in the nation against Alabama with one arm. Even his running mate, Kevin Dodd, a guy that has an unbelievable motor, bypassed him. Darren Lee, who everybody said is a freakish athlete out of Ohio State, bypassed him. To get Kano Neal? Come on, man.
Okay. Well,
I mean, who was on nobody's draft board? Everybody said this guy should have been second or third pick.
I can understand your concerns there. Real outstanding football player at Clemson these past couple of years. But remember, Shaq Lawson only started 1 year. And he did have some injury concerns. But we always go by game film. He did have an outstanding game against Alabama. No
with one
question
arm.
about it.
Yeah, with one arm. Yeah, he was a beast.
But
So
Alabama still went over 100 yards rushing in that game with Derrick Henry. Now getting back to the second gentleman you brought up, Kevin Dodd. Kevin Dodd is a one-year starter also, and he came on at the end of the year. I think he had like 4 sacks in his last 5 games. So I can understand that. Then you brought up Darren Lee. No question about it. Darren Lee's sophomore year, he was a tremendous football player. But when you look at what he did with Ohio State this year, not as good as his sophomore year. You look at Karan Neal, and you look at what Mr. Quinn is trying to do. He's trying to build the back end of the defense, built it with good players and good depth. Remember the key word here, depth.
Well, like I said again, he better be right. And here's the thing. Here's the thing that makes me laugh about this whole thing is about how the press spins everything. Before, it was all about the Falcons need a pass rush. Falcons need defensive line help. Now, all of a sudden, Quinn goes out and drafts basically a guy. Well, don't get me wrong. The top NFL guys like Gil Brandt had him on the list of guys who are the unknown high performers. Both of these guys that the Falcons picked. So I'm not trying to say these guys were just complete busts, but the narrative changed dramatically. All of a sudden, no. The Falcons are moving. He's going to move from the back to the front. Well, they weren't saying that. They didn't say that all year long. They didn't say that into this draft. So to me, I look at that as spin, bro. You know, I'm like you. I was in political science major. It's just everybody covering their behind now. They done made a crazy pick. That's what it sounds like to me.
No. This is the guy that Dan Quinn.
I like Dan Quinn.
To your show, he recruited this guy in high school.
I get it.
He knows this guy's pedigree. The guy had 100 tackles in the SEC against the best competition. Go put on the Alabama game film in the SEC championship
When
game.
he put the thump on Derrick Henry, we saw that.
Bomb out there on the street. He picked a guy that was moving up on the draft boards quickly during draft week.
We got
he
you.
came from like the 5th overall position into the first round. It was a lot of teams high on Karan Neal. Then when you look at, let me ask you this. Vic Beasley's going to be a better player in his second year. I guarantee you that.
There's no
then
doubt.
went down and got Courtney Upshaw. Courtney Upshaw, who has a Super Bowl ring with the Baltimore Ravens.
But it had an up and down year last year.
Since you out here saying these things, you need to look what was going on last week. Karan Neal was one of the most fastest rising players on the draft board.
Listen, I don't care if he was tied to a rocket ship, all right? To me, you do not bypass the premier pass rush in the draft and Shaq Lawson, an opportunity to pair him up with his former Clemson teammate. Who knows what kind of chemistry those guys could have put together. And speaking of depth, you got another Clemson guy there as well, Jesse Tuggle's son. So, I mean, you got a good situation. And listen, I would have even been happy as outlandish as this young man has been, I would have been happier had they picked Robert Incondici versus this guy. I remember this being real. I mean, normally, sir, I don't get too animated on these picks.
The head coach.
I like Dan Quinn.
In his first year, the guy brought your defense that was 32nd in the league to 18. That's 14 spots last time I checked. I'm going to trust the process that Mr. Coach Dan Quinn is giving right now. Trust the process, Minister.
All right. Well, before you get off the phone, Mr. Football, give us your grade for the Falcons overall in the draft. And outside of the Falcons, who do you think had the best overall draft?
The best overall draft?
Yeah, who do you think had the highest grade?
Jonathan, the Minister of Defense, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No doubt, buddy. No doubt.
You got two top 5 players in the first 2 rounds. Miles Jack fell to you, and if Miles Jack knee is sound, oh my God, you talking about a Jacksonville defense that's going to be starting. Dante Fowler, one of the best pass rushers from last year's draft. Miles Jack, who everybody's saying is the best best linebacker in the draft. Then you get Jalen Ramsey, that everybody's calling the next deal.
Right. Oh, that's right. I forgot that name, Miles Jack. That's the other guy they passed up. I forgot about him. Well, Mr. Football, listen, man, how can people find out more about you? You got the Facebook page or something where people can follow you?
Man, you can follow me on Facebook at 100 Yards Football Sports Talk Radio. You can go on 100 Yards Football at Twitter. And you just follow me every Saturday on WIGO 1570, the incredible radio station. Listen to 100 Yards Football this Saturday. We got a special treat, Minister. Can I announce it on your show?
Quick. I got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
We're going to have Andre Hastings on the show this Saturday, which you're going to be a part of. And I'm correct?
There you go. That's right. Well, listen, we look forward to seeing you guys in the booth on Saturday.
God bless. Young Guns.
Yes, sir.
Keep reading that football, baby.
We got you.
That's Mr. Football. Well, listen, we got to go to a quick break, and then we'll be back with more Real Talk Sports.
For the best 2 hours in sports talk, listen to DNA Sports Talk each and every Monday, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on WIGO 1570 AM and TuneIn Radio. We provide recaps, updates, and predictions on all your sporting news, from basketball to boxing, football to soccer, NASCAR to hockey, and tennis to golf. At DNA Sports Talk, we always bring the facts about sports. And if you don't agree, say so.
I'm Josh Noblet, candidate for Georgia House District 59. I've never needed a title to serve. As pastor, neighborhood president, and advocate, I have demonstrated love for Atlanta, East Point, Hapeville, and the communities that make our cities great. My campaign focuses on the things necessary to strengthen our communities, such as increasing funding for education in order to create more job opportunities, creating an honest and transparent government that works for everyone, and strengthening voting rights with an emphasis on social justice. I decided long ago to be an agent for the change we want and need to see in our neighborhoods. And I want to be your voice for public safety, for jobs, for better schools and transportation. So I ask for your vote to be your state representative. I'm Josh Noblet, candidate for Georgia House District 59, and I approve this message.
Go! It's time to show some love and appreciation. Saturday, May 7th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the W Event Center, 168 North McDonough Street, Jonesboro, Georgia. Through it all, a celebration of the lives of 3 great women from the community. Dr. Evelyn Wynn Dixon, Mayor of Riverdale, Georgia. Mrs. Emma Strapp, Mother of Bishop Donald Battle, Pastor of Divine Faith Ministries International. And Mrs. Roberta Abdul Salam, Community Advocate. These phenomenal women have shaped and changed the lives of countless in our community, and collectively, they represent the strength, courage, and foundation our families and communities are built upon. Don't miss the opportunity to show your support to an incredible group of women in an evening filled with love, uplifting entertainment, and delicious cuisine. Tickets are just $25. For more information, contact Linda at 404-217-9486. Saturday, May 7th, 4 p.m. at the W Event Center in Jonesboro, Georgia. Come celebrate 3 women who achieved greatness through it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Y'all looking good.
That's right, God looks good on you. It's not your hair, it's not your clothes, but it's what's on the inside. Thank God for those of you who have tuned in to listen to us on the broadcast today. And as you heard there, we're actually expecting a caller in from the folks that are actually doing Through It All. But we want to give them a great shout out. As you heard, they're going to be honoring 3 great women here in the community: the mother of Bishop Donald Battle, the mayor of Riverdale, and a great political advocate, Mrs. Abdul Salam. So if you are not doing anything Mother's Day, please go ahead and check them out on May the 7th. Well, we're going to wrap up with our community segment here as we always do. Mr. Ashton Reynolds, tell people about what you have going on with Blessed Coast.
Blessed Coast, that is my company, and what we do is just use all forms of entertainment to spread not only the word of God but positivity. And recently, everything's just been on the up and up. Just got back in from Miami. Shout out to Twin Sports TV. And you've just been having a blast with the increase. Got a lot of shows in the works. So just continue to stay tuned and follow me by going to my website, www.blessedcoast.com. And we spell it BLESSEDKOAST. On there, you can find me on all social media sites by clicking the links to them.
Well, listen, as always, our time is running short here. We thank all of those of you who have joined us to listen here on WIGO Atlanta's Incredible Radio. Thank the people on Facebook here. I think somebody just logged in. Young Gun, who's that last person down there? So I give him a shout out.
It's yourself, Mr.
That's me. Okay, well, there you go. I can't shout out myself. There you go. Well, thank you again for all of those of you who have joined us here on the broadcast. And again, before we leave here, I just want to let you know, folks, we're getting into a very, very difficult time here in this nation, in this world. So we ask you, please, ma'am, please, sir, if you do not know Jesus Christ for yourself as your personal Savior, please get to know him today. Nobody loves you like Jesus. He's the only way by which you can get into the kingdom of heaven. And with him, your life can be something greater than it ever could have ever been. Well, on behalf of everybody here at WIGO, we say thank you. God bless. As you know, I'm grateful for every time I have a chance to be with you. Good night.
I'm straight, I got faith. Oh, I can't complain no more. I've been blessed, I'm thankful. No stress, I'm able to dress, so fresh. Let's go. It's on tonight. My money right. Big city life. Yes, I'm alright. I'm rolling slow. We fall deep and we sitting low. Do you wanna go? I'm gonna be going for sure.
It's going down. Come on and hit the floor. You do your two-step and let everybody